police officers, and we heard them on the roof and in our building.
Was everybody crying, scared, wanting their parents to come get them?
Yeah, they were, and then some people were even like, they kind of felt they got a stomach ache.
Did you hear any gunshots or anything like that?
Well, police officers, like, they were kinda, because there's police officers, like, right out the door, like, trying to find the guy.
Are you okay right now?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Uh-huh.
All right, how excited were you to see Dad?
Really excited.
Dad, you look more nervous than her, I
Yes,
gotta
I
tell
was.
ya.
It was shocking. I got the call at work this morning, and I can't believe a small town like this would ever have anything like this happen. And to be in an elementary school, that's unheard of.
Pre-K through 4?
Yes.
And you said there were about 600 kids in there?
Yes. Roughly around 600.
What was going through your mind? I mean, you immediately think of your child.
Yes, I was pretty shaken up. Didn't know, you know, who or what happened. I knew there were shooters in the building or a shooter. Just worried about who else is left in the building at this time.
Mom, what do you think about this scene here in Newtown?
It doesn't even seem real. It just does not seem like it's even possible. It's like you read it in the paper or see it in the news, you're like, oh my God, that poor family, and then you have something happen so close to home. It's like, I think I'm still in shock.
As many of us are, no question about it, still trying to make sense of what occurred. Part of the process now is calming the students, calming the parents as they try and investigate the latest on this shooting.
ABC News had reported earlier on today that there have been 31 school shootings, Nick, since 1999, which was the Columbine school shooting. Clearly, so many lessons still left to learn from something like this.
You know, and before that, we never heard of one. You know, and now it seems almost like it's a magnet for these psychopaths. When they're going to do so, to do it in an environment where there is a school, where there are school children. This is, again, horrific. We'll get to the bottom of it, no doubt about it. But with 12 people dead, and we know at least 3 others wounded, I mean, we're talking about multiple weapons, multiple magazines. We're talking about not someone who goes in there just to engage one person, but somebody who's let a volley of fire go.
And it would almost seem, in the other school shootings, we have seen student shooters, students who have been angered, but whether they've been bullied or targeted for some reason, you can, and anger towards the student body, teachers for not looking after them. This, from what we have heard, and it is unconfirmed, that it at the hands of a parent.
Which makes it that
even more bizarre.
Right, and hard to fathom such an event. And what brings them to the school, but just by the little information that keeps coming over from the reporters out in the field, we have a lot of rounds having been fired. And when you go into an environment where you're carrying so many weapons, let's say, there has to be more than one gun, and you're carrying so many rounds with you, that goes to motivation too.
You know, having grown up in the New York City school system, I got used to years ago them having metal detectors and them doing checks for people, kids bringing guns in, and not necessarily to shoot anybody, but just people. There's so much guns out there right now, but you don't hear as much of that happening, obviously, suburbs and smaller school districts. Do you think we're reaching a point where every school is going to have some kind of a metal detector because of the number of these cases that we're seeing?
I mean, sadly, it looks like we're going to go in that direction. I mean, literally a policeman, assigned to the school. I mean, when I was the officer, you went to the school to school crossing.
Right.
That was your assignment during lunch or after school. Not to take a position inside the school searching people, but it's again, it's a sign of the times. I mean,
and this school particularly has a very good reputation. We've had Lisa Colagrassi informing us as best as she can about the school, and she's been following the story for us. Let's check back in with Lisa and hear more about what she's getting on the story. Lisa.
And it's interesting, we're talking about Columbine, and that was a high school, and Virginia Tech was a college. I mean, it's so rare to hear about something like this at an elementary school where, it has outstanding scores, it's got high ratings, parents raving about it online, saying that they wouldn't have their children go anywhere else. Family atmosphere. Your student-teacher ratio is about 15 or 16 to 1. So these are small classroom sizes. This is what makes Newtown, even though it's away from New York City, a very attractive place to live. Cost of living is a lot cheaper than in other areas that are close to the city. The largest city is Danbury, so that is probably where a lot of people work, Danbury. But this is a school that it sounds like everyone knows everyone, and we were talking about some of the, outstanding, accolades that this school has received. They also have above average test scores in math and reading, so they're high. Even, Kit usually ranks above the U.S. average. They're even high among Connecticut standards. So, they're getting things like 9 out of 10 ratings and 96% satisfaction rates from parents, which is really high. So this is not only traumatic for the students and the parents of this school, but really going to be for this entire community, because the population of Newtown is only about 27,000. So this is a small town, and this is going to leave a lasting impact for the entire community.
Lisa, I mean, the shock and disbelief that must be rippling through that community and the neighboring towns this morning, it's hard to imagine. Lisa Colagrassi, thank you for that insight there. We should tell you that President Obama has been notified about the shooting in Newtown. He was briefed by Homeland Security Advisor John Brennan in the Oval Office just a short time ago. The White House saying that he continues to receive updates on the situation there as well. Clearly this story sparking nationwide headlines comes just 2.5 days shooting in a mall in Oregon. Diane Sawyer was up just a little while ago, and she interviewed a parent from Newtown, and let's go ahead and listen to what that parent has to say.
Did they give you any sense when you got there, when you got to the fire department area, what had happened? What did they tell you?
No, nobody is giving us, no officials are giving us any information. There's a parent I know who happened to be in the building at the time, and she's pretty broken up. She was in a meeting with the principal and some other people, and they heard shooting. They got up, they went out. And she had stayed in the conference room, and my understanding from her is the principal and other people got shot when they went out into the hallway, and she was the one who called 911.
So you talked to the person who called 911?
Yes, and she said that there was hundreds of shots, it sounded like.
Hundreds of shots?
That's what she said.
And were there families there who don't know where their children are?
Yes, there are still families here who do not know their children are.
And were they